Now we are going to be talking about Chapter 2, Section 3, Multiplying Decimals. When multiplying decimals, you multiply as if you would any whole numbers. After you multiply, then you place the decimal point in the product for the amount, the sum of the decimal places in the factors. So in our example here, we have 5.82 times 0.41. We multiply as we would as if they were whole numbers. So here's that math. And then we count up the decimal places. So for here we have 2 decimal places. Here we also have 2 decimal places. 2 plus 2 is 4. So our product should have 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we insert our decimal point right there. We can check if a product is reasonable by rounding each factor to the place of the leading digit and then multiplying. Our leading digit of the number is going to be the first non-zero number. So in our example, 5.82 times 0.41, our first non-zero number is 5. And so if we want to round for the 5, we look at the next digit to the right of that, and since it is 8, we round up and we get our 6. Our first non-zero here is our 4. Our 4 is in our tenths place, so we want to round to our tenths place and we look at our hundredths. Our hundredths place is a 1, which tells us to round down, so we round to 0.4. So now we can multiply 6 times 0.4 and we get 2.4. We get 1 decimal place in our product because there was 1 decimal place in our factor right here. So now 2.4 is reasonable compared to the answer that we just got, and that works out. In our next example, we have 6.45 times 18. So once again, we multiply as if we were multiplying any whole number. Here's our math for that. Then we have to count up our decimal places. We have 2 decimal places in the first factor, 0 in the next. 2 plus 0 is 2. Therefore, we have 2 decimal places in our product, 1, 2. Right here, it's important to note that 116.10 is the same as 116.1 because, in fact, there are infinitely many zeros as placeholders here. Our next example is 1.273 times 0.06. We multiply as if we would any whole numbers, and then we count up our decimal places. For here we have 3, here we have 2. 3 and 2 is 5. 5 decimal places should be in our product. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to add in a 0 here for our placeholder in order for there to be the 5 decimal places that we need. Now we can multiply decimals to find areas. Here we have a word problem about Central Park. Central Park in New York City is a rectangular park about 2.5 miles long and a half mile wide. What is the area of Central Park? Well, we know that our formula for area is length times width. We know that our length is 2.5, and we know that our width is 1/2. So we can multiply 2.5 by 0.5. I've shown the work over here. We have 1 decimal place in this factor, 1 decimal place in this factor as well. 1 and 1 is 2. Therefore, our product should have 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Stick our decimal point right there. And the area of Central Park is about 1.25 miles.